Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here this morning because I know we're talking about drainage. We've seen Spanish pumps a lot in the agendas. And we made a Freedom of Information Act for Spanish pumps plants. And we did not get it because I know that you're moving forward in Spanish pumps. And so our question is whether they're, and I know you can answer me, but you can simmer with the question. The community made a plan with BC Workshop for that particular colonia. And what our question is, and I did ask Mr. Lozano yesterday, we wanted to know whether you proceeding with the Spanish pumps is taking in consideration the plans that the community had made with BC Workshop, because that's all what we're asking. That's what we're asking for the plans, and we did not get it. So that's our question. Our question is you proceeding forward with Spanish pumps, will you take in consideration some of the ideas that the community had for their own colonia when you're implementing the plan? So that's my question, and I'm hoping that we get an answer, that we be able to get a meeting either with you, Commissioner, or just get an answer in the email. That'll be fine too. That's our concern. The concern is whether there are community's ideas will be taken in consideration as you're moving forward in the plan for the Spanish pumps. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next presenter, anyone else about this?
No, sir, not under drainage.
All right. On our consent agenda, any concerns?
No concerns, Judge, this
move for
time.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
If I may, under item 5, discussion in Delaware County Drainage District Number 1 drainage projects, maintenance and operations. We'll be more than happy to meet with Ms. Salazar, I believe it was. Sanchez, I apologize. Ms. Sanchez, regarding her request, that we do have an engineer that's conducting the internal work, and be more than happy to sit down with them and explain to them what the engineer has laid out to provide drainage for that subdivision. So I'll reach out to her afterwards and sit down in my office with her.
And I know you're working on putting together a presentation that I've requested that you provide the community on the drainage situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
And all
we
the
are.
different projects that we were able to work on with a 2006 bond issue, and how the monies were spent, and how we're spending the 2012 bond issue monies, and what projects, why they're needed, what stage they're in, that kind of.
Yes, sir. The 2012 bond issue, we're almost complete with it. We're going to upload that on our website. It basically has a summary of the project itself, location, status, completed or not, and then we also have a correlating spreadsheet that lays out all the project details, engineer, cost, and things of that nature, so the public will be aware as to where the 2012 bond money is being invested and the improvements that is taking place right now, what's under design, what's been constructed, and we're working our way backwards. From there, we're going to go to the 06, 07 bonds and identify those projects that were completed and what's still lacking to complete those. But most of them have been completed based on some of the research that we've done with other parties. But yes, sir, we are working on that to get that out to the public.
All right.
Make it easy access for everyone to be able to track it.
Then let's proceed to item 6 then.
Yes, sir. If I may, approval and acceptance of contract, including best and final offer for arbitrage calculation services for RFQ 2015-118-0506 YZV for Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 with the number 1 ranked respondent, Arbitrage Compliance Specialist, Inc.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7, bond series, approval of counteroffer acceptance and closing documents for parcel 18 in relation, to J09 Drainage Improvement Project. The amount there is $18,000, Judge, and everything's in order for the counteroffer.
Move for approval.
Second.
7A.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, request for the approval of the issuance of manual check of offer to complete the transaction.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
I don't have any other items, Judge.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We will, at this time, convene or reconvene our Hidalgo County Commissioners Court meeting The entire court being present, we're ready to proceed on our July 28, 2015 meeting. Did you do the pledge earlier?
No.
Okay, at this time, please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Did you open the meeting? Cuando veas, lo voy a ver. I think he recessed it. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what is best for Hidalgo County. We ask your blessings and your guidance. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, on our consent agenda, any concerns, Mr. Ocasio?
Tiene una ahí.
Yes, Judge, I will ask that consent agenda item 10F be pulled for discussion.
Move for approval without 10F.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Nothing purchasing.
It's 11F. The correction is, I believe it's 11F.
11F, okay, I'm sorry.
Judge, we need to rescind that approval and come back and pull 11F and then
Instead of 10.
It is
instead
10?
of 10.
I
Oh, receipt.
The letter itself is 10F and 10A. I'm not sure where the 11 came from.
You have an agenda there? I don't have.
Well, if it's
10.
under purchasing,
10F.
purchasing agenda is 11,
It's 11,
All right, then, we have a motion.
so it's
to rescind.
11F.
11.
okay.
We have a motion to rescind the prior action. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Now,
Okay.
you,
Move for approval without 11F.
Second.
those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The item is requesting approval to execute required maintenance and support agreement and authority to enter into 12-month maintenance and support agreement for RightFax software on the server located at the IT department through DM Technologies, including the purchase of any future hardware, software, maintenance, technical support updates, and licenses, etc. There is a point of information. We had received some documentation from the District Attorney's Office through the Honorable Isaac Sulemana regarding the issue that this particular maintenance and support can only be, can only be obtained from this source, but cannot be provided by other sources under DIR or co-op purchases. Therefore, they found an AG opinion that they feel is applicable, that we would not be violating compliance with competitive bidding requirements, and the point of information is that the Auditor's Office is requesting that it be issued through the Honorable Ricardo Rodriguez and not just an Assistant DA. We are working on providing him that information. So we can proceed to take action.
So
Need
moved.
action for that then, right?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, do we have anyone signing up?
Yes, sir, we do. Under open forum, we have Ms. Fern McClarty.
How many do you people?
We have 2 individuals, Judge.
Okay, go ahead.
Ms. Fern McClarty.
Good morning. I have Beth handing out a paper. This was in yesterday's paper, and I believe there's something in today's. It says, "Letter opposed to a new Hidalgo County Courthouse." And I would like Mr. Ned Sheath to stand up and thank him for writing an article, because it's not just, there are people in the county that are against this. So I hope you will read it and take to heart what is being said. Commissioners, those of us in the audience during the last Commissioners Court meeting were surprised by the comments concerning the Regional Mobility Authority. Those of you on the commission seem to be concerned about the potential liability, while those of us in the audience were saying the people have just lost at least $10 million. That does not include the $400,000 loan the county gave them at the beginning. This commission create an organization named Regional Mobility Authority, which is the RMA, and gave them eminent domain authority. You give them $5 million a year that you take from the car tag fees from the people of the county. What are you going to tell the people that worked for that money? Are you going to say, oh, we're sorry, we will do a better job next time? Are you going to say the elected officials want a new courthouse, as we saw this morning? But we are not going to ask for a vote because we know what it would never pass. Y'all are going to do it under the radar, and the people are watching. I think what you are going to say is we are going to continue to burden the poorest population in the state with a lifetime of higher taxes for private, for-profit hospital system that our children and our grandchildren, their grandchildren, will pay for the rest of their lives. I don't think that the county employees understand whenever the commission votes for a tax increase or another fee to be paid by these people, it is really on all of us. They are really getting a salary decrease. Also, I would like to make a statement that if private businesses ran their business like the county runs this commissioner's court, they would go out of business. What I mean is the customer would never know when the business would be open. Do you all run your offices, your law offices, your metal companies, your whatever, like this, that your customer doesn't know when that they can come to your office to do business? I don't think so. So when y'all talk about the first and third Tuesday of the month, it'll be Commissioner's Court, and then you have another meeting. How about let's get a rhythm here, and let's do it each week, every other week, something that the public will know when you're meeting. Y'all jump around like rabbits. I've never seen anything like it. Our business would go under if we did not let the public know that we're open and trying to hunt us down. So we'd ask you to please take consideration on the people that would like to know when you're doing their business. Thank you.
All right, next presenter.
All right, it would be Ms. Maria Gomez.
Buenos días, señores comisionados, señor juez. Les damos las gracias por haber programado a las personas que trabajaron para programar la junta el día de ayer en la oficina del comisionado Cantú acerca de alumbrado público. Les damos las gracias porque pudimos tener esta junta para que la comunidad se entere del progreso que llevamos en las colonias.
Her name is Maria Gomez. She'd like to thank the commissioners and the county staff who signed up for the meeting yesterday in regards to the public lighting, so they could let the public know about the progress that's been done for this public lighting service.
También les agradecemos las personas que estuvieron presentes y estamos también pidiéndoles que sigan incluyendo a la comunidad para estas juntas porque hubo un cambio. Nosotros decíamos que era programa piloto, entonces cambió a fase 1, lo cual sabemos y vamos a llevar a la comunidad esta información.
We'd like to thank the staff for taking the initiative to invite the community again. We'd like to continue asking you to continue inviting the community in this process so we can take the information back to the residents of the county.
Yo creo que la comunicación es muy importante entre todos para poder hacer el trabajo mucho mejor. Gracias.
She thinks that communication is key to keep doing a great job, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, item number 6, out of the County Judge's Office, item 6A, discussion and presentation by the Hidalgo County Regional Mobility Authority.
Judge, we have Pilar Rodriguez, Randy Sweden from the RMA here to make a presentation.
We got,
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. Randy Sweeten, Chairman of the RMA. I know that there are some concerns for you, and so rather than going through my 157-page PowerPoint presentation, I thought I would take you straight to the segments that we're looking at. You're looking to here at the IBTC. Segment 365 is foremost on your list. Segment 1, 2, and 3 are imminent toward a bid letting. I know there's some concerns that some of the commissioners have, and so rather than spend a lot of time going through all of the entire presentation, right-of-ways, acquisition, utility relocation, I would really like for you to ask me the questions. If you'd like me to go into detail, I can, but we are about a month away from our first bid letting.
I know that at our last meeting, Commissioner, you had some concerns when there was, we were talking about the liability to the county on some of these monies that were being borrowed by the RMA.
Yeah, that's the only problem that I've got. I'm not against it, I'm for it, but the only thing is, are we liable for that, for those monies, those $55 million from the y'all are going to get us SIP loans? I mean, I understand that your attorney gave a copy of the letter to our attorney. Okay. But we are the governing body that appointed the appointees, okay? So what makes you think that we are not going to be liable in case, you never know what's going to happen?
Thank you, Commissioner. The statute that y'all voted on to create the RMA back in 2005 basically says that we are a separate governmental unit. We are actually borrowing that money from the state of Texas. Hidalgo County has absolutely zero liability whatsoever. The bonds that we've already let, the $60 million in those bonds, are pledged, the $10 license and registration fee. Those are from senior bondholders.
Is Noe here somewhere? Can you come up here, Noe? Steve, by reading that letter, what do you feel?
I think there is a good argument that the county is not legally liable if they issue the bonds the way they have, like you say, given me. I think the issue may be a credit issue. The county would be more important than the legal.
I'm sorry, the issues may be
A credit issue that the county the credit agencies may, if there was a default by the RMA, that the credit agencies might downgrade the county's credit rating.
Is that correct, Mr. Noe?
No, that's your cue.
I have not been able to visit with either their financial advisor or their attorney and go over the documents to see how explicit, I guess, their contract is with TxDOT. I don't think TxDOT has approved the SIP loan, have they?
No, we're still negotiating.
Yeah.
You represent Alamo RMA, correct?
I don't personally, my firm does. I represent TxDOT, and I represent...
The Alamo RMA, so you're familiar with the statute?
I'm familiar with the statute, but I'm not familiar with the contract itself. And what I'm being asked of right now is to give an opinion on the contract that you're going to have with TxDOT, and I haven't seen that. So
But you're familiar with the SIP loan?
I am familiar with the SIP loans. I do them all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think
So-
you...
No, there's nothing to fight here about. All we want to do is be sure everything's done correctly, because I don't want to go back and say, we talked about it, and we didn't talk about it. So we want to get things straight, and that's it,
I know Blakely's here. Blakely, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
You wrote that letter opining as to the liability or lack or no liability to the county for
Right.
either payment of the funds or that it would not in any way affect our credit rating.
That's right. And the SIB loan, Mr. Hinojosa is correct, it hasn't been finally negotiated yet, but the county would not be a party to that document, and so there would be no recourse against the county accordingly. Chapter 370 gives us some very explicit language that there are no general obligations of the state of Texas or of other political subdivisions that are accountable to the debts of a regional mobility authority. And so I've given Steve a copy of that language from Chapter 370. On our vehicle registration fee bonds that are already outstanding, it's listed in all caps and in bold in 4 different spots. It's in our indenture, it's on the face of the bonds themselves. This language is very prevalent and available for bondholders and everyone. There's no recourse back to the county.
I understand you're talking about legal here, but I mean, what about credit? What about our borrowing capacity?
In terms of the rating agencies, again, because it's so well documented on the indenture, on the face of the bonds, throughout the offering document for the bonds, it's like a school district or somebody else that might have Hidalgo County in their name, but is a separate entity from you. There's no, I can't imagine the rating agencies would come back towards the county. If you look at the events of default, which are very clearly outlined, obviously, in the bond documents, there's no recourse towards the county there. There's no acceleration of the debt allowed. The recourse is for a writ of mandamus to be put towards the RMA to force them to pay the debt service and the bond payments due, or for a receiver to come in. But again, there's no language anywhere in there that ties back to the county, so there would be no expectation from the rating agencies that the county would step in.
No, I have a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
No, wouldn't this be more similar to a city and like a PUB? The PUB goes out for a loan, and then if they were to default, obviously all they're going to pledge is their water and utility or whatever monies that they get. Is that a better comparison, and what effect does that have on the city if the city doesn't pledge their tax dollars?
I think, what may be worth is, and Richard Ramirez from First Southwest Company is here, it may be good for us to have a conversation with one of the rating agencies and see how they view this instrument. I agree with Blakely in that the legal documents seem to absolve you from any liability, and they need to have that understanding. What's even more encouraging to me about the loan that they're doing is they're doing a private placement with TxDOT. They are basically buying or lending you through the SIB loan mechanism this proceeds. So it's not like you have many people being sold a public instrument, right? So the good thing is you have a lender that is willing to make the commitment. They haven't made the commitment yet, but at the end of the day, we do worry about not only whether it's the RMA or any other subsidiary or perceived subsidiary of this county that the investor is explicitly clear that, hey, you can't come to the county. So we're being assured publicly here that that's not going to happen, but I think if, for me to give you an opinion, like she's giving an opinion in writing, I have to probably reach out and talk to a rating agency analyst or someone and say, hey, how do you see this RMA? We represent Cameron County RMA. We do projects with the RMA over there and the county together, and there's no, are you not there too? No, you're not there.
Not at Cameron County.
Yeah, so basically, there is a more fluid relationship between the two bodies, and here I just feel like, I think the way they're set up the project is a project that should work, but to tell you affirmatively we don't have that information available, so.
I guess that's what we need, though. At some point, I think between Steve and if you're our financial advisor, we need to make sure that we have no surprises later coming, that we get ourselves into a situation that that's going to affect our borrowing capacity later on. We just want to go through everything that we need to and make sure that that's our responsibility. We don't want to come back in 5 years and something happens to us and somebody says, well, you didn't ask the question, you didn't hire the right people, you didn't do your due diligence.
Commissioner, I think it comes back to you.
Well, as I said before, I think legally, I was just seeing their printed sheets, if the bond documents, the indenture, et cetera, has that language in it, I don't think you are going to be legally liable based on what they've shown me. What I have said, though, is I'm not expressing any opinion. That's why I've asked NOE to advise you on a potential credit downgrade by the rating agencies, because that I can't answer. That's not within the sphere of my expertise.
And NOE, is it your opinion that it will not affect us?
No, my opinion is that I don't have an opinion on that, Judge. I think, I'll be very explicit, I haven't seen the structure, I haven't discussed this with their financial advisor. We actually opted to not be on purpose directly involved with the RMA because of that perceived conflict down the road. I think from my perspective, Richard and I can spend, a good 2-3 hours sometime later this week or next week and with his staff and our staff, we can come to a resolution, give you an opinion here shortly on the matter.
No, do you need some kind of authorization from the county to look into that for us, or you can do it on your own?
I can do it on our own, but I think, if it's okay with you all.
Why don't you, I'm sorry, go ahead, Richard.
Excuse me, Judge. Commissioners, Judge, I represent other RMAs, and all the work that we've done, and including here in Hidalgo County, Blake is correct, all the documents legally will not obligate you in any way. Further than that, I think it's like any other road. In Austin, we have a road that has a problem. It's not part of the city or the county or the state. And the rating agencies look to that obligation only. We've talked to rating agencies before about what fallout could be from a default by the RMA. And from my discussions with them, there is no impact to the county because of any problems that the RMA should have. Not from a credit standpoint. There'll be a question, is there any connection to the county? We have to explain that there isn't. But your credit should not be affected with whatever happens with the RMA. We expect that nothing would happen, that everything will be good. But should something happen, in my opinion, your credit will not be impacted.
Can you tell me who you talked to?
Judge, perhaps this is a question for bond counsel.
Sorry?
So perhaps this is a question for bond counsel. Maybe you need to get Chuy Ramirez involved in this legal issue or discussion.
I don't think that's necessary. I think if Richard's saying that he talked to Moody's analyst, I'd just like to have that conversation with you and the analyst, and that way I can come to you and tell you, hey,
Just bring
we're home
us the
free.
information we asked for,
Yeah.
Noe.
We just need
And
something from
everything's
you,
okay.
Noe. I mean,
Got it.
everything else, I know that they know what they're doing. They represent the RMA, you represent us. And so we need an opinion from you on if this will have an effect.
All right, sir.
That's it. And everything's a go.
Gentlemen, we're 30 days away, hopefully. We've got one little hiccup with a box that didn't get checked at TxDOT. I'll find out on Thursday when I'm in Austin with TxDOT. We'd like to turn some dirt next December and get started. We're about a year away on segments 1 and 2. This is segment 3 at 281. We've put in a request to the MPO for segment 4. So we are ready to go. We're going to have 1,000 golden helmets and 1,000 shovels. We'd like to invite everybody, including the public out there, because it's going to be a big event, gentlemen. We're talking $500 million project. That money will turn over in Hidalgo County over the next 6 years about 6 times. That's about $3 billion in economics. It's about 11,000 jobs created for Hidalgo County that you guys signed on to when you created us about 2005. So please remove this thought in your minds about 5 years from now. We're going to be driving on a road 5 years from now.
It's removed.
Thank you. Judge, commissioners, we don't want to take up any more of your time. We're rolling.
Well, thank you very much
for the opportunity.
making time to be here and giving us this briefing.
Thank you, sir. All right.
It's important that we communicate.
I'll be here whenever you want, Judge.
Well, I know we have may have a need to have a report provided to us by, well, not necessarily yourself, but maybe Pilar or somebody as to what the RMA has been doing and has done and will be doing in the months to come.
I'll be honored to be here. Thank you, sir. Pilar.
Just real quick, Judge, we're going to be updating our strategic plan here in probably the next 45 to 60 days, and we need to present that to the court to let them know what we're doing short-term and long-term. So we'll be back pretty soon with that.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen, and Blakely. All right, next item, number 7, DA's office.
No hay nadie.
Alde, you
Judge,
want to?
Commissioners, yes, it's actually an appropriation, or the approval of appropriation of funds. It's in the District Attorney's Investigation House Bill 65. We're talking $467.75, and this will cover the salaries and fringe benefits of a position created previously on July 21st, 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Next item, Judge Commissioners, item 8, there is no action under item 8A, 1, 2, and 3. Item 8B, I'm asking the court to accept the quote for the renewal of accident insurance coverage for volunteers, for the Hidalgo County volunteers. This is from Montalvo Insurance Agency. It is from June 5th, 2015 through 1/1/2016, as well as authorizing me to sign any documents as needed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Who are we covering? Volunteers for what?
These are the volunteers, Judge. As you recall, we have from time to time individuals that want to volunteer their services to us. We have, from time to time, we have individuals who want to do some internship. They understand that it's not a paid internship, and so we assign to departments. Well,
Okay.
this is the coverage for them.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 2 is I'm asking approval of the payment of the invoice when we receive it from Montalvo Insurance Company in the amount of $287.50. Again, this is for insurance accident coverage for our volunteers. This is all being done with authority. County Treasurer's check after review processing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, Judge Commissioners, I'm asking approval of an alarm permit application from the City of FAR Police Department with authority for myself to sign off on any required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, I'm asking approval of a confidentiality agreement between Burton McCumber and Cortez LLP and the County of Hidalgo by and through the Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Judge Commissioners, briefly, Burton McCumber is contracted to do our auditing of financial statements, and this is a confidentiality agreement between us and Burton McCumber in their course and scope of doing the audit. If they come across any type of protected health information, that obviously that they're going to abide by the Health Insurance Portability Accountability Act and all applicable state and federal laws and rules that govern protected information.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D is an issue that's been looked at and asked by Lineberger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson through Mr. Gus Martinez. So I'm asking approval to authorize our county judge to sign a deed without warranty in connection with tax resale property. And that would be a 2.94 acre tract of land out of block 236, which is Hall Fifield tract here in Hidalgo County, according to the map recorded in Volume 1, page 53 of our map records in the Office of the County Clerk in Hidalgo County, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item F is the agenda item that I was referring to last week. It's acknowledgement of personnel budget memorandum to county officials and departments. Judge Commissioners, as I stated last week, I sent out a memo to all of our county officials and department heads with respect to a budget amendment policy governing personnel-related amendments. And this is for all our general fund departments. I'm asking the court to merely acknowledge what I've already done, which is send out a memorandum to all our elected officials and department heads.
Move for approval. Second.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners,
The effect of this will be what, Valde?
the effect of this is reminding everyone that we do have a policy in place and that at this particular time or from this point forward, we're not going to entertain any type of personnel-related agenda items, anything that has to do with adjustments, requests for positions, so forth and so on, that we're going to look at that through the budgeting process, and the governing body is going to either vote up or vote down, whatever the request is, as they make their presentations for need. Now, with that being said, I did make a statement last week that the caveat would be an emergency, okay? If we have an event that we had a couple, 2-3 weeks ago that lasted for the period that it lasted with the rain, and we needed an agenda item to address additional personnel, temporary help to help us deal with that, well, that's an emergency. But it would be a documented need. So again, this is just a memo I sent out reminding everyone that the budgeting process is the process that this court undertakes to address all related budgetary issues, inclusive of personnel-related items and requests for additional equipment, additional items that are needed for them to run their office.
All
Mr.
right.
Guerra, is this a new policy or just a reminder of
This is a
existing policy?
this is a reminder, but again, my acknowledgement, by bringing it to Commissioners Court, my acknowledgement is that I've informed the court that I am reminding everyone of the policy and that we are going to adhere to the policy. And so if an agenda item does not get on, that's related to what I've addressed, I'm going to refer to the policy as a whole and this related agenda item that acknowledges what I've done.
All right. Next item.
Item 9A1, there is no action today, Judge. Item 9B1, there is no action today.
Item 10.
Mr. Longoria?
Committee. Yes.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Jaime Longoria with Community Service Agency. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to accept the one-time funds augmentation opportunity in fiscal year 2015. We were contacted by the Corporation for National Community Service. They have a one-time augmentation grant of $3,000 that was sent to Hidalgo County, and I need approval to accept those funds.
Move for approval.
Does this require matching of funds?
The grant in and of itself, Mr. Fracio, that's already come through court apparently did. These particular funds do not require any matching funds.
So no matching, no funds?
No, sir.
For the additional funding?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Those in favor of the motion is made and seconded indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Our next item, Judge, is
Item 11.
Ms. Longoria.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. I have before you item A1, which is the approval of redistribution of funding notice FY 2015 from the Texas Department of State Health Services in the amount of $29,603 from the WIC grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 2 is the approval to deobligate $29,603 from the WIC Admin Grant Program 1.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 3 is the approval to appropriate $22,000 into Peer Counselor Program, Program 2, and $7,603 into the Registered Dietitian Program 12.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Yeah, it's allowed.
Okay, thank
But
you.
they do have to deobligate because they say that, what do you call it, the planning document, whoever does it. Item 12, Judge, is Planning Department with Mr. Arredondo.
Is he around?
I don't see him, so let's go ahead and skip that for right now and let me get him. So we'll go on to Ms. Salazar with the Purchasing Department.
But before we do that, there's some appointments or reappointments that need to be made under that item number 12A, 3 and 4.
Well, you know what, Judge? We do have an interlocal with our Drainage District, and who better to present than our former Director of Planning. Mr. Cecine is very well aware or familiar with these. Mr. Cecine, do you believe that you could take care of the item?
Yes, I believe I can.
Thank you, sir.
If I may, Judge, I guess on behalf of planning, it's just a preliminary approval of various subdivisions. In the past, what we've done is read them in the record, and they're subject to coming back before the court and the advisory board for final. If I may proceed, I could just read for the record, preliminary approval of La Blanca subdivision, Precinct 4, Pueblo de Palmas, number 17, subdivision, Precinct 4, Sunset Valley, Precinct 3, subdivision, Phase 3 subdivision, Precinct 1, TVM Property Subdivision, Precinct 4, and Caramona Subdivision, Precinct 1. And as I said, all those subdivisions are just for preliminary, subject to future comments from my office, the Planning Department, and any other offices before receiving final approval. This just allows them to get moving for construction purposes and inspection and everything.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The reimbursement for, I don't have that information. I apologize, I don't have that number. The reimbursement financial guarantee re-subdivision, I can come back to that one. Let me get that number if I may, Judge. I don't have that in front of me, but I do have the item 3, if I may, appointment and reappointment of member for the Allen County Subdivision Advisory Board. The two members that are up is Mr. Lonnie Berry for Precinct 1 appointee and Mr. Ken DeJarnette, County Judge appointee. And it's a 2-year term. Everything's in order for the recommendation. And if you want to handle number 4 as well, they're also reappointment for the Building Board line of adjustment.
Move for approval.
Second.
3 and 4.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And on the re-subdivision, the original amount of the cash deposit was $10,500, and the reimbursement they're requesting is for $3,000 for the installation of 2 septic tanks. And Health Department's issued their letter, and the Planning Department's recommending approval. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On Purchasing Department, Martha Salazar, 13A1, no action. 13A2, approval and acceptance of the final negotiated contract, including its best and final offer for arbitrage calculation services with Arbitrage Compliance Specialists Incorporated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 3, presentation of bids received with recommendation to award to the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid and meeting all specifications and requirements for bid number 213. There were 20 packets sent out, 3 received, 2 were non-compliant. One was eligible for consideration. That is Matheson Tri-Gas Incorporated for welding supplies and other miscellaneous
Move for approval.
items.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item B1, Precinct 2, acceptance and approval of the construction contract documents for Hidalgo County Precinct 2 Sioux Road improvements from I Road to 3,500 feet east of Raul Longoria Road. And this is the total of $378,587. And this was with Texas Cordia Construction, LLC.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item B is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262031, and in the interest of expediting the project's progress, we're requesting approval for the precinct commissioner or designee Armando Garza Jr., unless otherwise changed by Commissioner Cantu, to increase or decrease in cost of $50,000 or less, and in no event to exceed the change order's statutory limits.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is for facilities management. Presentation of the low bid received and detailed intabulation sheet contained herein. This is for general custodial services. And this was 29 packets were requested, 6 bids were received, 3 were not qualified, 3 were qualified and considered. We are requesting ABM Janitorial Services, DBA and ABM Janitorial.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have, thank you.
Judge, did you do the reappointments or no?
Yes, we did both of them. Yes. Yeah, Mr. DeBerry got in and DeJarnette. All right, item 14. Valdez, is there anything?
Yes, sir, we do need to go into closed session.
All right, need a motion pursuant to 551, 071, and 072 to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It's 12:21. We'll be in executive session.
Commissioners, there is under open session 16A, real estate acquisition appropriation the same, there is no action. 16B, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action. Item 16C, civil action number 715-CV-00304, Elizabeth Moore versus City of Mission, Texas, and the County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to item 15A and B. 15A, I'm requesting exemption from the competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 2620224A4, a professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 15B, I'm requesting the engagement with the firm of Preston Hendrickson for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement, and it is specific to item 16C, civil action number 715-CV-00304, Elizabeth Moore versus City of Mission, Texas, and County of Hidalgo.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, there is no need to go back into closed session, so there's no action on item 17 and item 18. Judge Commissioners, before we adjourn, I'd like to announce that we will be having, because it is our regularly scheduled, we will be having August 4th Commissioners Court, but I do want to announce that August 4th will be our very last meeting here at the City of Edinburgh. We have been, over the last week or so, we've been transitioning over to the the old administration building. I'll be working also with the District Attorney's Office in that transition. All of our equipment is in place, and the Public Affairs Office is getting very familiar with that equipment. And so August 4th, next week, Tuesday, will be our last session for Commissioners Court here at the City of Edinburgh. And then our next scheduled meeting will be August 18th at our new Commissioners Court.
Valdez.
Mingo?
That's right.
Mingo has nothing to do with it, so don't. Yes, sir.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Guerra, the engagement of Preston,
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
engagement of Preston Henderson is only for County of Hidalgo?
Yes, as always, it's only to represent the County of Hidalgo, not the City of Mission.